So the bird is freed, like Elon Musk said. The question now is, what's next? What will Elon Musk do with Twitter? Well, there is no easy answer to this question. You see, Elon Musk is a man of contradictions. He is known to act at whim. He says one thing and does another. So what could Musk's Twitter look like? Will it be as contradictory as he is? Let's find out. To start with, Musk plans to make Twitter a super app. What is a super app? Something on the lines of China's WeChat. Let me explain. WeChat is not just a social media application. It is a one-stop shop for Chinese citizens for everything from social media, messaging, finance, food orders. Unfortunately, the Western world has no such thing currently, and Elon Musk could change that. He has never elaborated on how, but he has dropped quite a few hints. Look at this tweet. Musk posted it earlier this month. It reads, and I'm quoting, "Buying Twitter is an accelerant to creating X, the everything app." What did he mean there? What exactly is X? Musk did not say. Tech experts are claiming that he is referring to a super app. What is their proof? More statements from Musk himself, like this one from May this year. I am quoting again. If you are in China, you kind of live on WeChat. It does everything. It's sort of like Twitter plus PayPal plus a whole bunch of things all rolled into one with a great interface. It's really an excellent app, and we don't have anything like that outside of China. It's either convert Twitter to that or start something new. It does need to happen somehow. So when exactly will this happen? Only time will tell. What's change number 2? Let's talk about that now. A mass culling of bots. Elon Musk might just order it. He has been waging a war on this, remember. He thinks bots and spam accounts are littering the social media application and that they have the ability to swing public opinion. So essentially, he wants to clear them out. He has voiced his opinions on this several times. Have a look at this these tweets rather. He says, bots hinder Twitter's ability to grow, to become the most trusted and inclusive platform in the world, and which is why he wants to clear them out. We wonder how many people would be in favor of such a move. Change number 3. Greater inclusivity and free speech. Musk has often spoken about this, how opening up the platform to opinions from all sides would make it more inclusive. But what does he mean by that? You see, Twitter has long been accused of favoring left-leaning liberal figures. It has been accused of manipulating its algorithms in their favor. And Musk, on the other hand, wants to make Twitter a quote-unquote common digital town square, a platform where a wide range of beliefs can be debated upon without resorting to violence. This is what he told a Twitter user recently. I'm quoting, "Twitter should be as broadly inclusive as possible, serving as a fair forum for lively, even if occasionally rancorous debate between widely divergent beliefs," quote unquote. And that brings us to change number 4. Will Elon Musk bring back banned accounts? Will he reinstate the handles of controversial tweeters like Donald Trump, Kanye West? West has been temporarily banned, remember, for anti-Semitism. Trump has been permanently suspended for inciting violence. Is Musk going to bring them back on the platform? Who knows, he might just. Look at this statement from May this year when he called Twitter's decision of banning Trump stupid. Allow me to quote, "I think that was a mistake because it alienated a large part of the country and did not ultimately result in Donald Trump not having a voice. Banning Trump from Twitter did not end Trump's voice. It will amplify it among the right, and that is why it's morally wrong and flat out stupid. So will Musk bring Trump back? We shall find out very soon. Now, these were just 4 possible changes. Musk may or may not execute them. He may or may not have other plans. But the thing is, bringing these changes is not going to be an easy task. To start with, Musk's plan of making Twitter a super app is easier said than done, especially in the United States, where tech platforms are already under scrutiny for trying to establish cross-industry monopolies. The second challenge is that Musk's Twitter will not be the only company in pursuit of this goal. Facebook's parent company Meta has been on that mission for quite some time now. So have Google, TikTok, Uber, and several others. They all want to expand their offerings to get as many users as possible, and Musk will have to be slightly more creative. And then we come to his plans regarding free speech. The possibility of reinstating controversial accounts like Donald Trump's. Well, conservatives might cheer Trump's return to Twitter, but there would also be a major resistance from the liberals. You know, those who argue that Trump's tweets pose a threat to democracy, especially now, when he has been subpoenaed for his role in the storming of Capitol Hill. From the American media to the Democrats to activists, they are all pushing for Trump to face a trial. So if Musk is planning to bring Trump back, we hope he is prepared to handle the blowback. As it is, he has enough challenges to deal with, issues that are plaguing his other ventures as well, like Tesla. Earlier today, Tesla issued a rare recall of over 24,000 of its Model 3 vehicles because of a seat belt issue. And this comes right after Tesla recalled over 1 million vehicles due to issues in the window operations. And these recalls may be due to software issues, but they make for bad press. We wonder how much more bad press Elon Musk is willing to afford at the moment by taking controversial decisions as the new owner of one of the most widely used social media platforms in the world. Suffice to say, the road ahead is not necessarily going to be a smooth ride for him. And to discuss this and more, I'm joined by senior market analyst Joshua Mahoney. Thanks very much for being here, Joshua. Let me begin by asking you for your reaction to the fact that this deal has finally come through, and I cannot emphasize enough on the word finally, given the series of twists and turns in this saga, also the impact that it has had on the markets.
Yeah, it's been a protracted saga, to say the least. Certainly, we're talking about a major tech company that, by and large, he's buying at the absolute top. We've seen tech stocks hit hard, and certainly over the course of the last week, we've seen the likes of Facebook, the likes of Amazon, really seeing their share price tumble. And that's, of course, one of the worries behind why Elon Musk tried to back out of the deal. It's going to be an interesting time going forward. Ultimately, the platform is what the platform is. Those of you, or those of us that use it, I use it very regularly for my job, are quite used to it doing what it does. But I think that we're talking about someone that has historically seen the bigger picture. Sometimes that bigger picture doesn't seem to make sense to a lot of people. On this occasion, I think the bigger picture actually does make quite a lot of sense, but there's question marks about whether he's going to be able to actually do what he says he wants to do.
And speaking of which, what, according to you, lies ahead for Twitter under Musk? Now, he has ambitions, but there's also skepticism attached to those goals, especially when it comes to free speech.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult when you talk about sort of freedom of speech on a platform like this. You know, I think Donald Trump is the sort of the poster child of what happens when perhaps things go wrong. You know, we're talking about someone that was the president of the United States being kicked off of the platform because by and large, they didn't have the same kind of political view as the owner of that platform. That, to some extent, whether you like him or loathe him, probably doesn't make that much sense. Certainly, there should be, and Elon Musk has already said it, there should be a certain code of ethics when you're on a platform like this. So there will be some sort of intervention needed. But nonetheless, it's certainly going to be a lot freer, you would think. And it's now going to be presumably a place that has sort of far right and far left and everything in between within the platform, rather than what we've seen previously, people talking about having to go off and join another platform if they have views that perhaps don't align with Elon Musk's. In terms of the outlook for the company itself, you know, just being able to get Donald Trump back on isn't necessarily going to suddenly make the company worth multiples of what it is now. And he does have an outlook that does point towards the possibility of increased revenues down the line. Seemingly, he's just built the idea from going to China, probably seeing WeChat, which is owned by Tencent. And essentially, when you go to China, you'll notice that they seem to have a whole host of the apps that we are accustomed to here in the United Kingdom rolled into one single app. That means the ability to talk to your friend, have videos with them. So that might be like Zoom, make financial transactions with them. So that's like one of your banking apps. You might also be able to buy things via the app when you're in a shop, for instance. This is really an amalgamation of a number of apps. Whether people will wish that they just want to stay with what they're currently using and utilize different apps for different things, or whether people do get on board with this idea that we might have one super app, that remains to be seen. But certainly it does show the possibility for him to expand well beyond the borders of what we're looking at now, which is essentially a platform where people can pay to advertise, and by and large it's not particularly great for advertising either. So certainly if it is successful, you're talking about many multiples of the valuation he's paid so far.
Right, and just going into detail about this ambition of creating a super app, something on the lines of China's WeChat. But isn't that easier said than done, especially in the United States, where tech platforms are already under scrutiny for trying to establish cross-industry monopolies?
Potentially, you know, certainly we have perhaps a different level of willingness or openness to companies being able to perhaps overreach their remit. But that being said, you know, if you're talking about the US, you're also talking about an area where tech stocks have, you know, you take, for example, something like Alphabet. They had to change their name to Alphabet because they needed to have a part of the business for every letter under in the alphabet, you know. So perhaps there is a possibility that people might look at them and think maybe it's overstretching a little bit. But quite frankly, if they're moving into different businesses across different remits and they're not necessarily monopolizing one single industry, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if people let that one slide, because by and large, you wouldn't necessarily want the US to be seen to be anti-competition and anti-entrepreneurship. So I don't necessarily think it's going to be a massive issue as things stand, because we have already got a number of different companies in the US that have so many different arms to it that that Twitter, as it stands, is just a single. So they might be able to try and attach a few different elements to it before they start getting under any intense scrutiny.
Right, and what about the revenue streams? Would Musk be able to challenge the biggies?
Well, look, if you're looking at the kind of user numbers for Twitter compared to, say, Facebook, they are minuscule in comparison. So first and foremost, we're talking about a platform that doesn't have anywhere near the same kind of reach. It certainly does have some decent numbers. And I guess part of the argument in the first place was Elon Musk saying, actually, are these numbers true, or a great deal of them sort of robots or fake scam accounts? So that's one part of the question, is getting the user numbers up for them to be able to compete with any of the majors. And then it's about being able to diversify. That's not necessarily something that you've seen some of these other companies do within their business. Let's say Facebook, for example, heavily reliant on advertising, but then they can go out and buy other businesses with the cash that they can generate. Well, with Twitter, possibly you're looking at the potential to be able to expand into lots of different areas besides advertising. And so therefore, in terms of what they're generating, it could be pretty significant in size. But like I said, a lot of it's going to come down to whether people are open to be able to sort of consolidate what all these other apps that they're using are, and then also whether they can get their user numbers high enough to be able to then drive those revenues up.
Indeed, and given how Musk is known for his unpredictability, one can never know for sure. We're leaving it there for the moment, Joshua. Thanks very much for being here. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.